Am I the idiot for bringing my boyfriend to my sister's wedding? My male 29, parents died when I was in elementary school and an old family friend took me in. He's always treated me well. My adopted siblings are awesome and most people assume that we're blood related. My adopted mom has always hated me. She'll act neutral enough around her husband but she completely tears me down, and she's always been like that. My siblings have always had my back 100% and have stood up to her when they could when we were younger. My adopted dad apologizes for her behavior, but it's been about 20 years and I pretty much ran out of the house as soon as I finished high school. I still showed up for holidays and major events. A few years later when I came out as bi to my family, my mom pretty much used this as a chance to disown me and just openly started insulting me and being nasty. My relationship with my siblings hasn't changed much. I video chat and talk to my siblings all the time and visit about once a week since we live in different cities. They don't apologize for their mom's behavior. We just don't talk about her. My sister's wedding was small because of COVID. Just close family and friends. I was beyond happy that she was still getting some of her wedding and that she was happy. I brought my longtime best friend, now a boyfriend of a few years. Everyone knows him. He's been in my life for the last 10 years, but we only started dating about a year ago. My sister warned me that her mom would be at the wedding, but she'd already told her to be on her best behavior and deal with it, or she'd be uninvited. Her mom promised to be on good behavior. Fortunately, she held it together for the ceremony, but things went downhill at the reception where she started a whole scene about me being there and sprinkled in stuff about my boyfriend. It went from snide comments and insults to a full-blown argument. My dad managed to get her to calm down, and she disappeared for a while and came back later to just ignore me. But now the whole story made it to our wider family and acquaintances. Both extended families and pretty much everyone are blaming me for picking a fight with her. I didn't approach her at all. My brother is just generally angry because my sister was upset. Brother-in-law is less angry but more worried about her. My dad is apologizing to his wife. I'm glad to have been there to see my sister get married, but I feel like I ruined her big day by just being there and also bringing my boyfriend. He's not mad at my siblings and he's been really understanding, if also pissed off at pretty much everyone else. Am I the idiot for going to my sister's wedding and bringing my boyfriend despite her mom hating me? Edit. The fight was her approaching me to insult me. My otherwise quiet boyfriend is defending me. Her insulting him as well. Me arguing back with her. My brother stormed over to shut it down, but she started to yell at him. More yelling from me. Then finally the groom came over to get her to relax. She accused me of coming because I don't like the groom. I don't. The start of his relationship with my sister was rocky. My brother and I begrudgingly accepted him because he makes her happy. Then my sister and my dad came over to calm everyone down. My sister said she was okay and it wasn't my fault, but she'd been crying and hasn't talked to anyone but her husband so far. Now for comments before the update. Not the idiot. Your mother's poorly concealed homophobia isn't your fault, and you were allowed to bring a guest. Who else did your sister expect you to bring besides your significant other? Not the idiot. Your adoptive mom is. She escalated the situation, it sounds like. Don't let people who weren't there tell you how it should have happened. You didn't mention if your sister is upset or not. Have you talked to her about what happened? If your sister's mad at anyone, it's probably your mom, not you. Sorry this happened to you, OP. Update. Thanks everyone. Some people asked about my adoption. My dad pressured my mom into adopting me. He was friends with my birth parents before they died. Adoptive mom thinks he was in love with my bio mom and had him take a paternity test before adopting me. It came back negative. They adopted me. My sister called me back a week after the wedding. She apologized for our mom causing a scene and asked if BF and I were okay. I apologized for not immediately removing us from the situation when things went down. We both agreed that our mom would have likely still have caused the scene. She said was overwhelmed and emotionally exhausted from the stress of her planning the wedding and the fight. She needed time to process and not be on. Brother-in-law was doting on her for a few days while she took some time for herself. Some people said my sister was homophobic because she didn't defend me immediately or contact me right after the wedding. My sister is both the oldest sibling and the peacemaker in the family. She might as well be a saint with everything she puts up with between our mom's moods and our dad's hands-off parenting and her younger brothers occasionally being idiots. She's the first person I came out to and my biggest supporter and defender. I never realized how much pressure my family puts on her to be the mature maternal figure until brother-in-law called me out. The angry extended family was a mix of homophobia and anger that they weren't important enough to be there. My brother said their mom was telling people that I'm the one who started things because I hate BIL/her/in-laws/ etc. and a lot of other more dramatic details that didn't happen. It got bad enough that mother-in-law of all people called her a liar and came to my defense. Then mom decided to throw father-in-law being a serial cheater into the argument, and now both extended families are flip-flopping sides. Normally, our dad would placate our mom and our sister would try to smooth everything over. She's pretty much hung out to dry on her own. Sister and brother-in-law have gone Elsie with her mom. My dad apologized on her behalf to my sister and me. My brother is the only one still talking to her, but only through dad, who he feels bad for. We're all dodging the mess that is the fight between the in-laws. My BF and I also discuss things. He's been incredible, and I'm going completely no contact with my adopted mom. Luckily, neither my dad nor my brother will give my mom my phone number so she can't bother us. We never speak and only see each other roughly every 2 years, so it's not a loss. I'm not sure how I feel about my dad. I love and appreciate him for adopting me, but we're on shaky ground. That's pretty much it, not the idiot. I'm glad you have such a great support system. Your adoptive mom is very toxic, and it's for the best that you go no contact. Good for you, it's a hard thing to do. Not the idiot. Your sister does sound like a saint. It is absolutely stressful being the peacekeeper of the family. It sounds like your dad is punishing himself for something, cheating maybe? That's why he's putting up with your adoptive mom's craziness. But if I were him, I'd be better off being alone than to live with that kind of treatment day in and day out. You did nothing wrong being there and bringing your BF. It's totally your adoptive mom's issue. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for yelling at my mother when she said that I had to make up for all the chores I missed out on when I had cancer? I literally cannot believe I'm writing this, but here goes. I, female 17, was diagnosed with stage 4, all as a kid. Wasn't supposed to live. Parents decided to put me through chemotherapy to extend my life for a few months. I ended up surviving, and it's been about a decade since my initial diagnosis. I'm cancer-free now. My parents own 2 houses. For one, they hire people to clean it, and for the other, we take care of it. My parents are pretty well off, but they believe in hard-working values and want my brother and I to know how to care for ourselves and our future houses, which I think is great. The last time we were at the second house, the one we care for, we had an all-day cleaning of the whole house and yard. I wanted to call my friends later in the day, so I decided to get up early and do my end of the chores first so that I would have time to talk with my friends. There was a list of chores on the table. I spent a few hours doing half of the chores on the list. To reiterate, I did half of the chores myself, leaving the other half to be split between my mother, my father, and my brother. I didn't choose the easiest ones or anything. I just went in order from top to bottom on the list. And I stopped when I got halfway down. Weeding, raking, pressure washing the driveway, laundry, clean bathrooms, dishes, vacuum basement and main floor, clean the boat, put the covers on the jet skis, and a few others I don't remember ATM. Anyway, when I was done I called my friends. Mother walked in and saw me on the phone and got mad, and I told her I already did my share, actually, more than my share, of chores. She then said something along the lines of, "It's still not enough because you have to make up for all the chores you missed when you were sick." I'm literally so angry typing this. Sick is what she refers to as the whole cancer deal. I can't believe she'd use that against me, like it was my fault. I told her that she had a lot of nerve considering that I was literally freaking dying at the time, and that she hadn't done a single chore on the list. She was really upset and went into her room and slammed the door. She did end up doing a few of the chores, but me and my brother and my father picked up the rest. She was passive-aggressive the rest of the day. This happened a few weeks ago, but she still brings it up whenever I'm doing something that's not chores, saying I'm lazy and that I need to make up for the lost time during my cancer period. I haven't said anything to her about it since. I ignore it now. Am I the idiot here? I did go off on her, and in the heat of the moment I was pretty loud. I probably should have handled it in a more calm manner than I did. But I also think it was way out of line for her to use my cancer against me. Edit, many have asked if I can talk to my father about this. I can't because he wasn't there to hear it, and it's my mother's words against mine, and there's no proof, so he would take neutral ground, which I don't blame him for. I wouldn't believe this if it hadn't happened to me. Edit 2, I've still got at least another year here. When summer is over I start senior year of high school. Then another summer at home and then college. Also I am considering staying at home longer so my brother doesn't have to deal with this poop. He's younger than me and he is more timid and cries when people yell at him. I don't blame him though. If I stay I can sort of shield him from that, but he's the only thing keeping me on the fence. I really want to move out. I haven't decided yet, but for now thanks for the advice. Edit 3, I will eventually get to all the comments. I promise I read them all, thanks to everyone who responds. Edit 4, sorry for all the edits, but this blew up overnight, and thank you for the awards. It's taking me a while to read everything, but I'm going to do it. Edit 5, many of you said all isn't diagnosed in stages. It actually is, just not numbered stages. We use hashtag S to talk about it because it's how my doctors explained it to 8-year-old me that I didn't have long to live. Also many PPL don't understand B cell versus T cell stuff, but they get stages 1 to 4. And since then the term stuck. Sorry about the confusion. Now for comments before the update, not the idiot. Tell her next that you're making up for all the time you lost having a life, and record her from now on. If you need proof your mom is being an idiot and blaming you for having cancer, that's your best bet. Not the idiot, of course. I would discreetly be keeping your phone on record when she gets like this and privately have a sit down with your dad. That way he has no way of denying it, and your mom can't lie her way out of it. Proof is proof. Make sure you have your phone secured at all times though. Update. I ended up getting into a big fight with my mother over the summer, and she kept deflecting and refused to take any blame for anything. The fight wasn't just about the last post. It also included controlling behaviors, like the hairdryer post, and other things that I felt she needed to acknowledge. The issue is that she's never apologized to me before ever, and she still refused to. I even admitted that I was wrong on some things and tried to compromise, but she didn't relent. So I told her that if she wasn't going to put an effort into fixing our relationship, I'd need a therapist, again, to talk to about our issues. I phrased it as I need help because something is wrong with me sort of thing, so she'd be more likely to agree, and she did. I've been doing Zoom therapy sessions. BC, I live in the USA and we are still on lockdown. Joy, and my therapist is great. She listens and offers advice. The only issue is that the things she says I need to do to fix things my mother haven't been working, again, because my mother cannot apologize for anything. So I'm kind of upset about that, but it's nice to have someone to talk to. I think I've realized that things are just gonna keep continuing like they are, with my mother doing messed up stuff and refusing to apologize, and I can't really do anything about it. One other small thing, my parents started holding money over my head recently in a "if you don't do what we want, we aren't paying for your college and we are kicking you out of the house as soon as you're 18. Sort of way. So that's kind of fricked up. I'm stuck between financial security and mental health security until I'm in and out of college. So like 5 years roughly. And I gotta choose financial security, unfortunately. Meaning they're gonna be in control of my life for a while, because it's what I can do at this point. Thank you to everyone who commented and offered advice. It means a lot that people read my post. Edit, some info for you guys. I took the SAT and did extremely well, and I received a $20,000 a year scholarship for an out-of-state school. But that doesn't even cover half of the tuition of that school. I'm trying to find cheaper options, but it's hard. Edit, I got into in-state school on a scholarship, couldn't afford out-of-state, and I'll be going in the fall. Diagnosed with depression and got antidepressants, feeling a little better, but honestly the situation won't be completely solved until I'm out of the house. I also am working 2 part-time jobs to save money. Still doing therapy. I don't know if anyone will read this, but if you do, things have slightly improved. Not the idiot. What you do now is start making plans, learning stuff. There are tons of free courses online, Python, etc., that you can use on college applications and freelance stuff to earn money. Put your spare time into your grades and extra learning to 100% so that you can apply for every possible scholarship available to you. And then as soon as you turn 18/graduate/move to college, you cut them off. Not the idiot. You have an excellent attitude, and it sounds like the therapist is helping you manage the things you cannot change. As others have said, plan your escape route. Make sure your brother knows you're there for him even if you're not physically there, and build your life. I wish you so much success and happiness.